Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you so much for watching or joining today. Thank you so much. If you are new here guys, please consider subscribing below so that in subsequent videos you can be able to watch, alright, or when I post a new video you will be able to watch. Thank you so much for doing that. For returning subscribers, I want to say I'm so grateful, alright, and thank you so much for your love and support. For those who keep sharing my videos, please, if you come across this video, make sure you share it so that a lot of people can watch and understand what I'm going to say. And today's video is all about cost of living in Turkey. Okay, I'm going to be talking about cost of living in Turkey today. And please, let me put this here as a disclaimer. If you get any figure here, it doesn't mean it is the actual figure, okay? Because what I'm giving you now are just ranges, okay, or what you can find in some other areas, all right? As a matter of fact, let me put this here again. I am not actually in Turkey. I just visit Turkey. My visit was for close to a month, all right? I was not there for more than a month. So I want to share my experience based on what I was told or from what I actually saw too, all right? Because I was there for 3 weeks and some days. So I know some of the things I am going to tell you now and some others because I tried to find out too from individuals. So please, as a disclaimer, know that what I'm going to be giving you is not fixed, all right? It can change at any time, so you have to understand that. Now, for cost of living in Turkey, I was in Turkey for close to a month and I live in a place in Ankara called Chankara, okay? I was in Ankara, not in Istanbul, so I was in Ankara, the capital of Turkey, and I live in a place called Chanka. No, it's not Chankara, it's Chanka, close to Eskikoit, alright? So that was where I was living. And now let me share my experience. I will be talking basically about the housing, okay? The housing, the bills in general in the housing, the electric bills, the water and gas, internet, transportation, and of course food, alright? Now, with no further ado, let's start the process. First of all, housing in Turkey is not too expensive. As a matter of fact, I saw one guy from Iran who was living in a motel. A motel is a small form of a hotel, alright? He was actually living in a motel and was studying at the university, at a certain university in Ankara. So when I tried to speak with him, I realized there were so many important things and so many GC things about Turkey, alright? Now for housing, the housing in Turkey is in form of apartments, alright? Let me say, if you want to get a house in Turkey, you need to understand that you are going to be living in an apartment either alone or with individuals. And housing in Turkey is characterized of 3 types, alright? We have the studio apartments, alright, which is basically a small room. Let me say a small room where you can leave a room, your kitchen, and a small section for your toilet and your bed, alright? Then we have the 1+1 apartment, which is basically 1 sitting room, 1 bedroom, and 1 toilet and 1 kitchen. The 2+1 apartment too is also 1 sitting room, 2 bedrooms, 1 kitchen, and 1 toilet, okay? While the 3+1 apartment is also a 3-bedroom flat, a sitting room, and a toilet and a kitchen. And the prices for this apartment do varies, alright? If you want to, let me say, first of all, we were living in, for the 3 weeks plus that I was in Ankara, we were living in a 3+1 apartment. And the 3+1 apartment, the cost was 3,200 Turkish lira, alright? Then when I tried to find out again, I realized that you can still get a 3+1 apartment in between 3,000 to 3,500 Turkish lira, and a 2+1 apartment from 2,000 to 3,000 Turkish lira, and it all depends on the age of the building, alright? Buildings which are 10 years older in Turkey are more cheaper than buildings which are 2 or 3 or 5 years older, alright? An old building is cheaper than a new building, and for you to get all of this, it depends on your pocket, so you have to know that, alright? A studio apartment too can still be like maybe 1,500 to 2,000 Turkish lira, or let me say from 900 to 1,900 or 2,000 Turkish lira. It depends. As I said, there are a lot of factors that contribute to the prices, alright? So you need to understand that. Again, now, let me go to the electric bills. The bills that I went there and we paid for that time, before I went there, they had already consumed the bills because normally bills are paid every month. So the bill that I met, alright, and I contributed for was the electric bill was 900 sorry I'm getting it mixed up, was 95 Turkish lira, all right? Because I was living with these guys, there were 4 of them, so I went there just for a short visit. So they told me that this is the bill, so I just had to contribute my own. But for the range for the bills in Turkey usually ranges from 150 to 200 Turkish lira, all right? So electric bill in Turkey is not that expensive. But if you are using a lot of appliances, all right, use a lot of things that consumes electricity, of course your bill is going to be higher than these figures I just mentioned. Remember, the figures are not fixed. They can change with season, they can change with consumption, all right? So you need to understand this principle. Again, let me talk about the water and gas. And water and gas here, first of all, the water in Turkey is very cheap. Most of the times, those guys where I was living with, they told me that their bill used to be between 65 to 75 Turkish lira. Sometimes there was a month they got a bill of 82 Turkish lira, all right? So, but from the range that I found out, their bills can be 50 to 80 or 50 to 100 Turkish lira. Water in Turkey is too cheap, it's not too expensive, okay? So you need to understand that too. And remember, all the bills that come, all right, the accommodation, the bills in the house are shared according to the number of persons living in that house. I think this system is same in Turkey as in Cyprus, because Cyprus is being controlled by Turkey. So when I try to observe a little bit of those things, I realize that it's almost the same system in Cyprus, all right? There is also going to be a video on my channel about cost of living in Cyprus, all right? Make sure you watch that video, cost of living in northern Cyprus, so that you can learn a lot of things if you want to move into any of these countries, all right? Again, depending on the season, all right, for your gas, because there are homes, if there are homes in Turkey that have a central heating system. I was fortunate to be with these guys that were not using the central heating system. What I mean here is everybody is heating from a general source, all right? In that case, your bill can be higher, all right? But if you have your heating system alone, your bill will never be higher, all right? And the heating of the house, or let me say, if you are consuming a lot of electricity using the general heating system, you can pay bills for up to 600 Turkish lira. So what I can advise you is, if you want to use a general heating system, it should be a system that you alone will be using, and you are living in a 3+1 apartment where you live alone, right? A 3+1 apartment in Turkey, they are not cheap. You can get one for like 1,300 Turkish lira, a good building, maybe 3 years old, 4 years old, all right? So it is not that expensive too much. So now let's talk about the maintenance fee too. There is something called IDAT, all right? IDAT is maintenance fees. If you live in an apartment where let me say there is a basketball court, because there are apartments, or let me say buildings that contain volleyball courts, football pitches, or a gym center or something like that, right? All these things need maintenance. And remember, if you are living in an apartment in that area, you have to also contribute for the maintenance fee. And maintenance fee most of the times is not usually expensive, all right? They can cost you 4 to 5 Turkish lira or something. So you need to understand all of these things before you move to Turkey. Or if you are in Turkey looking for an apartment, try to go through this video so that you learn a lot of these things, all right? Now let's talk about the internet. The internet I met these guys they were using was super online, all right? And when I tried to speak with them, they told me there are so many other internet lines you can use, all right? And the bill for their internet was 100 Turkish lira, which was being shared among all of them living in the house, all right? So they told me there are other internet stuff you can use, or internet lines you can use. It depends on you, but what they were using was super online. I think there was another one called Telecom or something, and there is another one, Vodafone something. So always try to find out these prices before you go engage yourself into something, all right? So that is what I can tell you for now. Now let's talk about the transportation. Transportation in Turkey is of two various kinds, all right? You can use a private bus, you can use a taxi, you can use a train or whatsoever. But these guys, I was meant to understand that the best one to use is the student metro card, all right? You can use the metro, and what they are using in Turkey, most of them, is the student metro card. It is actually cheap, all right? It is actually cheap to use the student metro card. With that card, I think that card for you to move somewhere is 1 point something Turkish lira. It's not expensive. But if you are using a taxi, alright, it is going to cost you a lot. I think a taxi is 10 Turkish lira plus, right? So it is going to cost you a lot. And before you enter a taxi in Turkey, alright, make sure that you check if the driver has reset his meter, because there is a system. If you are new and they know you are new, the taxi people, you are in trouble. I don't want to mention a name here. So always tell them, alright, to reset their meter. And there are distances, alright. As I said, you are going to spend 10 Turkish lira plus. So you have to be very careful with the taxi system in Turkey. But the best, if you are a student, get a student metro card, because that is the best you can ever use. Okay, so you have to know that. Then food in Turkey is not that expensive. It is not actually expensive, because I had been there before and I saw some of the things. There are a lot of markets, cheap markets around you can get food stuff from. Alright, there are grocery stores around you can get food stuff of. And I was meant to understand that there are some cheap stores where you, with 600 Turkish lira, you can buy a lot of things where you can feed for a month. Okay, especially the food stuff, I mean. But if you are someone who eats in restaurants or something, be rest assured that you are going to be spending much money, your euros or your dollars or something, and it's going to be costing you 300 plus, maybe in 2 weeks or maybe in 5 days. It depends on you, because some people like to be extravagant. You understand what I mean? Or maybe some people like to enjoy themselves. All right, so that is what you need to know. The cost of living in Turkey compared to other European countries is not that expensive, all right? Because the first advantage is that if you are getting your money in euros or dollars, but now you are going to be spending in Turkey in the Turkish lira, which is a lower currency compared to these other ones, it is advantageous for you. But in all, things in Turkey are very cheap, okay? Things in Turkey are very cheap, especially when it comes to food. Remember, Antalya is the biggest city in Turkey that produces tomatoes, all right? A lot of tomatoes come from Antalya, all right? And Antalya is a city in Turkey. That was where the former, the renowned Cameroonian footballer Samuel Eto'o played for some time. So in that city, they have a lot of tomatoes. So if you are looking for green vegetables or green food stuff, it is not going to be a problem at all for you in Turkey, all right? So that is the information I wanted to share with you. I hope you find this information helpful, and if it is helpful to you, please share to other people so that they can also understand what we are trying to say here, all right? Thank you so much, guys. If you are in Turkey, please continue watching this channel, because there are a lot of things I'll be saying. Or if you are somewhere around the world and intend to visit Turkey, all right? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and see you in another episode. Bye bye for now. Peace.